So I get the feeling, like I said, oh my God, I'm going to be so lethargic and poor Susan's going to be all over the place.
And there we are, both feeling
So we're
lethargic.
both feeling like, ah. Well, hello, my dear Susan. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Actually, I'm feeling quite fatigued,
Mm,
for want of a better word.
it's too funny you say that because I am quite fatigued today. I woke up at the crack of dawn. I
Hmm.
don't know why, particularly because I went to bed late last night.
Yeah.
And if I go to bed late, I notice now when I was younger, I could sleep like 8 hours or, whatever. My working life, I would sleep 7.5 at least.
Mm.
I think it's menopause. Now I sleep like 6. So I purposely don't go to bed at 11 o'clock because I'll wake up and it'll be like 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't do that because don't want to be up at 4 a.m. So maybe I go to bed at 1, especially, if I'm not working or something, I'll go to bed at 1 or maybe 2. And then even if I
Mm.
toss and turn a little bit, then I can sleep a bit or I wake up and then I can go back to sleep a little bit, but it doesn't always happen.
Mm.
So yesterday I went to bed late.
Yep.
And then this morning I was like awake at 5 and I'm like, what's that about?
Yes. Mm.
So of
Mm.
course now, like 5 hours later, I'm already fatigued. I'm like, oh, okay, it's time for bed.
I know the feeling. You saying that about the menopause and waking up at silly o'clock, it just reminded me of uh, quite a long time ago, probably 20 years ago. It's got to be more than that, actually. Um, I used to wake up regularly at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said to a friend of mine who does reflexology, and she said, "Oh, that's when your digestive system starts working, and if it's a bit bleh, it will wake you up." But it just occurred to me that actually I was probably going through the menopause at that time as well. So I hadn't actually linked the two, to be fair. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
who
interesting.
knows? I mean, most people, most women that I speak to who are in menopause will say after they got in, not the perimenopause, which is when you're going through the change, but when you're actually after the change, and that's considered menopause. Most women I've spoken to about that all will say they sleep like nothing in comparison to what they used to. Uh,
Yes. I'll
Um,
tell you what happened for me.
yeah.
I used to have migraines. I had migraines from a very young age, and they were cyclical. They were always with my period, and it got to this. They got worse and worse and worse, and it got to the stage where they would put me to bed for 3 days, and I'd come out of it totally exhausted because you didn't have any rest, even though you were in bed for 3 days. And I never bothered taking it. I did to begin with take painkillers, but what I found is if I took something today to if I had to do something today and I had a migraine, I would take a tablet, Migraleave or whatever, but by tomorrow it would be worse. So I just stopped. I would just live with it. I'd never took painkillers for it. As soon as I went through the change, my migraines stopped. Full stop. I've never, touch wood, I haven't had a migraine since 2003, 2004, which is a long time, isn't it?
You
To
know
have.
what? It's very interesting because as with technology, I want to say technology, but as science advances and medical science advances and what have you, and they do more studies and figuring things out and this and that and the other thing. And um, I think the key what they're finding, it's everything in your body is about hormones.
Mm.
So, your estrogen or your progesterone, which are key,
Yeah.
your insulin, which
Yeah.
is key, And what you produce when you're under stress, which is cortisol,
Oh, yes.
is a hormone. And interestingly enough, when you were saying what wakes you up, that's what wakes you up in the morning, is the body
Mm.
goes into its restorative in the nighttime
Mm,
and it starts to repair. Your liver does its repair and your body gets rid of all the toxicity and it does its
yes.
cleaning and it's blah blah blah. And what then starts to increase, like maybe I don't know how long before you wake up, but that's literally what wakes you up, is cortisol spikes and wakes
Oh.
you up. And that's like a
Mm.
stress kind of thing. That's what wakes you up. Because you have to remember, you still have caveman's body,
Yeah.
caveman's genes, let's call it. And he had to get up to eat, like to
Mm.
survive. Now, okay, we don't necessarily have to. That's why they say, in fact, they say don't eat immediately when you get up in the morning, because
No.
if you wait a couple hours, the cortisol goes down. And if you actually eat while your cortisol is spiked, okay, you're
Mm.
in a stress mode. So your body goes, oh, stress, give me that food and I'll make it as fat. I'll store it as fat.
Yes.
So your body thinks you're stressed, panicking for food, so that when you do put the food in your mouth, it goes, okay, let me handle that for you and I'll shove it as fat, store it for later. So you actually want to wait 2 hours, let's say, even it doesn't matter what time you wake up, if it's 10
Yeah.
a.m. or 8 a.m. or 5 a.m., doesn't matter. But in the first at least 2 hours, they say do not break your fast with whatever
Yes.
food.
Yes.
Do not break your fast with within the first 2 hours because you need the cortisol to come down. And then when you put food in your mouth, your body does not think you're stressed because having spiked cortisol and then you eat and you spike your insulin, it's like
Also,
yeah, it's like it's a
double whammy.
nightmare, like
Yes.
it's a nightmare situation.
It's natural for me not to want to eat until
Yeah,
probably, like you say, a couple of hours. I'll get up, go
yeah,
and do all my animals, come back in, have some water, and I still don't want anything to eat for a while. So yeah, but that isn't. I just follow what my body says. I'm not hungry. I'm not going to eat anything. So,
absolutely.
but
I'm like
it's
that
like saying,
too. Like I
yeah,
can go, it doesn't matter if I wake up at, like I woke up 5, 6, 7, 8, anytime in there, it doesn't matter. I can go until at least 1 p.m. Then I start to get hungry and I'll have lunch.
yes,
Now,
sort of breakfast, lunch.
about a week ago,
Yes.
I woke up and it must have been 6 a.m. And then I said, oh, I'll just go back to sleep for like, an hour. And then I woke up and it was 1 p.m.
No, I've never heard you do something like
And
that.
I very rare, I mean, I don't know what happened. Okay. So I don't know what that was
Oh,
about because that
yeah.
is never happens to me. And so
Mm,
then, of course, I woke up as 1 p.m. Well, I didn't eat till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I ate that one meal and then I
yeah.
was, it was fine. So,
Yeah. Yes. Gosh. Wow. You must have needed that sleep then to do
yeah,
that.
I absolutely needed it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on there, but oh my God, did I ever need it?
It's good though that you're able to do that,
Yeah, thank
allow your
God in
body.
a way. Thank God
Yeah,
I could go back to, well, also it helps that I'm not working, so I can just go back to
exactly.
sleep when I feel
Exactly.
like it.
Yes. I've had 4 busy days, which I think has sort of compounded my fatigue or added on to it because the first 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday, I was on a course down in near Salisbury at a country park where we did identifying land management and identifying plants and what you're looking for to say what type of soil it is. And it's really quite interesting. So, and then the second day on Thursday, we actually did some quadrangles, with the squares, and you mark out the plants and you sort of identify the plants. And we also went river dipping and got some little mini beasts and identified those. So the walking around and the standing around for those 2 days really did wear me out. And then on Friday, I went with Trish and Bunny because she was competing again. I don't actually do much. I just sit in the car with her, but it's just for companion. But it meant I had to get up early. And then on yesterday, I went out with her again yesterday morning competing. So 4 days I've had early morning starts and out and about sort of stuff. And it's
Yeah.
that's why it's hit me today. So, like you, I sort of went back to sleep and I didn't actually wake up till 11, which is not as bad as your one, or not as good as your one. But
Well,
I
no,
get,
today I didn't go back to sleep. So I
um,
stayed up at 5. I got up and I said, "Oh, let me do some stuff that's useful in,
mm,
preparation for either, this channel and what we do on this channel and doing some videos and
yeah,
editing things and whatever. And for my tarot stuff as well, that's, coming out, obviously keeps coming out,
right,
whatever. So I said, I have stuff I
yes,
can do. I'll just get up and do it. I took my laptop into the bedroom and I put it on my lap and I did some stuff for a little bit. So I just kind of sat in bed, but I didn't. And then I got up and I got ready
mm,
and then whatever. But yeah,
mm.
so I get the feeling, like I said, oh my God, I'm gonna be so lethargic and poor Susan's gonna be all over the place.
And there we are, both feeling
So we're
lethargic.
both feeling like, ah.
I blame the weather. It's always the weather. It must be the
Okay,
weather.
it's raining here. I don't know about there. And the
That's quite cold.
temperatures dropped here, and
Yeah.
thank the free Lord it did because it was in the 30s the last couple days, or at least
Mm.
whatever. And now today I think it's 21 right now.
Well, we're about the same as you because we're sort of 1920.
Yeah, it's 20 right now and it's drizzling. And but it's gonna rain like pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, right away, all the whole day and the whole
Right.
night.
Yes. Now we
Um,
had that on Wednesday and Thursday, the rain, so I didn't have to water the plants.
yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
today just
I find
cloudy.
it's a bit of a strange year this year, but
Mm.
I don't mind it so much because I really cannot take any more like 30, I can't take 30 degrees weather. It's like it's
Oh
just
God,
too
no.
hot for me.
Yes, yes.
And it would be different if I had air conditioning in here that was like, central air or whatever, but mine isn't. So it's like it's not very strong, or I sit in front of a
Right.
fan or something like that. But um, I just find like that as I get older, I have a harder time with the heat.
Mm.
Now it's beautiful temperature, and for all this week now, it's going to be 20, 21, 22, which to me is perfect
Yeah,
temperature.
that works.
The
Yeah.
problem is it seems to be raining when it's like that, and then it builds up the humidity, and then
Mm.
it's hot and humid, and then it goes down and it rains, and it's so I would
Yeah.
love it to be 22 and sunny, but
Well, that's what we tend to get. Mind you, it's cloudy at the moment.
mm,
On Facebook, somebody writes a bloggy thing, and he's an American that's moved to the UK. And one of the things that he was horrified to find when he came to the UK is we don't have air conditioning. It's not a common thing. He's going, how can they live in this heat, even though it's for a few days, sort of thing,
well, because he
without
doesn't
air
get that you don't have that weather all the time.
conditioning?
First
Yeah,
of
exactly. You
all,
don't need
that's
it.
the
You don't
thing.
need
You
it.
don't have it like, well, I don't know where he's from, but if you're like living in the South, or you live in Texas or you live in Florida or something, obviously it's
Yeah,
hot, hot all the time,
yeah.
right? And you guys don't have that, so of course you don't need to have air
Need
conditioning.
it.
The other thing is in Europe, air conditioning costs an arm and a leg.
Mm.
It's your electricity, it's your electric
Yeah.
bill.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, it's not something that we bother
Well,
with
I
really.
don't know of any other electricity. I mean, I have to plug my air conditioner in to
Yeah.
make it work. So,
Mhm. Yes. I'll tell you a story. We went to Florida when Simon was 6, and as you can appreciate, Florida was very hot for West. We'd not actually had that sort of lived in that temperature. And as we were driving along, my ex said, God, this air conditioning really doesn't work in this car. And my son at the back at 6 years old, and he said, and I've got the window open as well. We went, shut the window! Because in Britain, we'd have the window open if it was too hot.
Well, no wonder it didn't work.
Exactly. We went, shut the window. In Britain, we'd have the window open. But in America, Florida, you
I
wouldn't have the
actually
window
like
open.
my windows open too. Like when the
Mm.
temperature now, like even if it's 21 or 22 or something like that, if I go into the car, I will open my windows and especially if there's a nice breeze, I
Yes.
prefer the
Yeah.
fresh air, which is, better
I
for
agree
you
with you.
also than just,
Yeah.
because air conditioning is dry air nonetheless, so it's not really great. So,
Yeah.
um,
No, I agree with you. If I can have the window open, I will. But the other thing is I tend to listen to Audible as I'm driving along on my phone. And
yeah,
if I have the window open, sometimes the noise sort of blocks out the story.
yeah.
So you have to sort of balance out one from t'other type of thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that.
yeah, but so yeah, we don't have air conditioning. I just shut the curtains so that the sun doesn't come in and have the door open.
I actually, well, I don't have curtains I can really shut in my living room. I don't have any curtains on my kitchen window.
Okay.
My bathroom window is a frosted glass, so you don't really put curtains anyway on a bathroom window. I have
Mm.
just in my bedroom, so I keep the blinds closed or what have you. But I find that I have shears in my living room. So they're like very sheer, like you can, it's very light
A net,
material.
what we call net curtains, nets,
And
like a net.
okay. And I don't know if that's the same anyway.
Sounds like it could be, yes.
And we just call them sheer. It's like a very thin
Sheer,
material, but it's yeah.
sheer material, yes.
Yeah.
So we call them nets.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so I have those in the living room, so it's not really doesn't really hold any heat or light out or anything. It's not
No.
thick enough to do that or whatever.
Mm.
Um, and then I have a unit that I actually put into the window, not the whole unit, but a pipe that goes
Ah, yeah.
into a thing that goes into the window and then the machine. And so that's what I use. But to be honest, it really cools my bedroom, which is fine,
Mm.
but it doesn't get it into all the other rooms.
Doesn't
So I
flow.
have to set up a system. This is where my ingenuity comes into play.
Okay. Yes.
So I have my AC and I turn it on. I close the bedroom door. I turn it on. I let it get cool.
Okay.
Then what I do is I open the door and I have a standing tall fan and I
Ah,
put it on high and it
yeah.
blows the cool
Oh,
air
out.
toward because the door is toward the hallway. Then in the hallway, I have another standing fan, which I put on and I make it rotate. So
Ah,
it picks it up like from there and pushes it toward the living room.
okay.
Then on the other side of the living room, I have a fan pushing it back. So it makes like a circle.
Hmm.
And then I have two doors here in the kitchen open. So I put a fan here in the kitchen. So I have this rotating thing. So I'll tell you honestly, it doesn't get cold in here, but it takes out the humidity. And the
Yeah.
humidity makes a huge difference. Okay, so it keeps the humidity down.
Mm.
However, I can't really keep doing that because last year, twice I blew the fuses
With all those fans.
with everything, with the AC and the fans and everything all going at the same time. I blew the fuses in my place.
The whole, not the whole building, just you.
Well, the first time it just knocked out the me on one like one side where there's a whole bunch of outlets sort of on one wall kind of thing.
Yeah,
So it didn't take out everything. And then so they reset them. And then the second time it blew them. Now they probably were there for God knows how long, how many, because all the fuses for the building are downstairs. So I don't
right.
know how long those fuses have never been changed. So they basically really, it took out everything in my place. And not
Well,
everybody else, but me, like
oh, just
really took
you.
everything out of my place, including my fridge and everything. And they all had to be replaced. Now, maybe that's newer, but again, I'm like, okay, I can't keep doing, I can't do this, not in this place.
Did they come up to you and go, "What you been doing?" Or do they just not?
No, because I had to call the girl and tell her, hey, go fix the fuses, change the
Yeah.
fuses, because I blew it in my place.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I've blown a fuse here, actually, talking of that. This was weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago. My trip switch went, and so I went and put it back on, and then it went again. Um, and then I checked it again and I put it back on and it went again. And then I realized that it was just one fuse that was tripping, but tripping the lot, and it was the lighting. So I left that off, but turned the main trip switch back on, and everything else works except for my lights. And I literally have got a head torch that I use. I don't bother with having the lights on. I just put my head torch on and go to bed with my head torch
That's
on.
hilarious.